Greetings, all excellencies. Really a great day. It's the 17th day in the journey of World Peace Summit. This is the day that we have been waiting for. Eagerly, we are all waiting. Today, we have galaxy of pioneers, galaxy of role models, galaxy of trendsetters, really having their presence. So I requested our team members, today we are not going to speak anything, but just we wanted to hear from you. Just a brief intro of program. That's all from our side. Remaining all goes to speakers, because we have eminent speakers today. It's the 17th day. Honorable VC sir, Professor Ankur Kulkarni sir has joined. Honorable Donesa Arbas ma'am from Dubai, she has also joined. Dr. Patrick sir, eminent scientist from Singapore, has joined. Brigadier Dr. V.D. Abraham sir, Veronica Saban ma'am, Dr. Chaitanya P. Agarwal sir, Ritu Malhotra, Dr. Vishwanath Kokonda from London, Dr. Wahid Musa from all the way from Africa. So Dr. Melody from USA, Mark Anthony from USA. So with the galaxy of visionaries and galaxy of pioneers, this program is going to be an amazing day. Actually, the main objective of World Peace Summit is included in this SDG 7, because we have all come on to one platform, because partnerships, it can strengthen us. So with this objective, because SDG has such that much power, because it can, this SDG 17 can, by bringing all of our resources onto one platform, it can create peace. So here peace means prosperity. Everyone has to live happily forever. So with this motto, we are heading towards, all our visionaries are there to support the cause, global cause, peace. With this note, I welcome all excellencies onto a beautiful journey, 17th day, a marvelous, stupendous 17th day in the legacy or in the journey of World Peace Summit. Sustainable Development Goals 17. Welcome. With this note, I invite Professor Dr. Vijay Carol ma'am, a brief intro about our Royal Council services. Then we'll go with our chief guest. Over to you, Excellency.
Thank you very much, sir. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the global leaders, excellencies, kings, queens, viewers. A warm welcome to you and namaste from India. I'm Dr. Carolyn, Managing Director of Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, Chairman, the Life Foundation. Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council mainly focus on world peace. To attain peace in the minds of the people, that is, peace starts within us. And it has to be expanded to the family, to the society, to the community, to the nations, and globally. That's what we believe, and we're trying our best level to accomplish it in the communities which is around us. We have conducted various programs physically and virtually, and we address the issues at our level. And we tried our best level to solve the problems of the underprivileged community. And we are looking ahead to have good collaborations with the international organizations to accomplish Sustainable Development Goals 1 to 17. And the government of India has observed our activities, the programs which we have conducted physically and virtually, and they were very much satisfied. And they have visited our office in Hyderabad, and they are looking ahead that we approach them. So very soon we are going to approach the government of India to have good projects to address the issues of the community, especially underprivileged. And we have two organizations under this Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council. One is Telangana Kala Parishad, the other one is the Life Foundation. Telangana Kala Parishad mainly presided or taken care by Dr. Raja Rao, who is the chairman of that organization, Telangana Kala Parishad. The Telangana Kala Parishad mainly focus on three things, that is, to address the issues of farmers, to address the issues of migrant workers, and to expand the cultural diversity of India, to showcase the culture, the various cultures of India, where India is rich with a multi-cultured environment. So we have different cultures in different states and different lifestyles, and we try our best level to exhibit the cultural diversity in India, where there is a great unity. And India is called as one India, and we're all called as Indians. So the Telangana Kala Parishad conducted various physical programs to observe the cultural variation in different states of India, and it was applauded. Everyone appreciated. It was enthralled. And especially during COVID time, the migrant workers faced a lot of problem to move to the native places as they come from different parts of rural background. For livelihood, they stay or reside in urban areas. But during COVID time, there is no job and faced a lot of financial lackness, and they starved and suffered a lot, and they want to move to their native places to live. Along with the family, they started traveling because there is no transportation. At that time, Telangana Kala Parishad taken the problems, the issues of the migrant workers to the notice of the government, and government responded immediately. And the farmers, as we believe, agriculture is only our support, as we called as agricultural country. And we mainly depend on farmers. And farmers faced a lot of problem. There is a lot of financial lackness in the families, and many of the farmers committed suicide. And Telangana Kala Parishad showed solidarity to the farmers and taken the issues to the government, and government responded positively. In this way, what we said on Zoom platform, we tried our best level to address the issues of the underprivileged, the farmers, the migrant workers. And the other organization is the Life Foundation, which is led by me. The Life Foundation mainly focus on underprivileged community, that is the slums and the servant maids. Whoever the servant maids facing problem to educate the children, we approach them and seen that the children are joined in government sector schools like Telangana residential schools, Kasturba schools like that. And we have seen that the children of the servant maids written the entrance exam and got admission into government sector institutions, where they can have good education from 5th class to degree level. And also the slum children also we encouraged. And slum children who are not interested to move to residential areas, we counsel and we joined. And many of the children who are in 1st to 5th class, we have encouraged them to have good education in our educational centers. And the children who did not get admission into government sector, we are educating the children in the slums. It is called as the Life Foundation Educational Centers for slum children. And we encourage the parents to join their children in our schools, and we imparted quality education, good education, by providing good teachers at our level. And the children, which has been only the strength in one school of 30, now reached to 150, and from 1 to 3rd institution, now we moved to 4th institution. And very soon, we would like to expand the educational centers. And we are teaching what is good touch and bad touch, because slum is full of filthy environment, much with the drug addicted, rapist, alcoholics. Because we noticed 2 rape cases while we are setting up the educational center. And we felt strongly that education only can bring all-round development, and we can transform the lives of the children. And what we felt is in the evening is very worst environment, where all the male, most of the male, 95% are with the drug addicted and alcoholic. They are not in a good condition. They will be always in a trance with their bad habits. At that time, they're grabbing the girls and going for the sexual harassment. Then we felt that evening is very worst environment, where we want to protect the girl children and boy children from the clutches of the alcoholic and drug addicted and rapist. So the timings of the schools are 5:30 to 8:30. By the time the women of the family complete their domestic, that is house chores, and they take care of the children. So 8:30, they come to our schools and take their children safely to their houses. Now, I can proudly say that there is not even a single rape case was addressed, and there is no stalkers, there is no any kind of harassment, and women of the slums are very happy. I always say women because men, though we conducted so many counseling programs, as I'm a counseling psychologist, and they were unable to come out, we are trying our best level to take them to de-addicted centers and seeing that they will come out from the drug addicts. And women who are in a financial problem because of the male who never take care of the family, and we want to empower women, and we have started free tailoring centers and training the women of the slums and the servant maids. And I can say very happily that if women of the slums started their own tailoring center in the houses, earning and supporting the family. So in this way, the girls and boys getting education. Earlier, we never used to find one child of 10th class. Now 6 children have written their 10th class exam and came out successfully. So, and we are looking ahead. The children from 1 to 5th class joined in entrance are giving such a coaching, and we're making them to write the entrance exam. So we are trying our best level to empower the slum children, girls and boys. We believe gender equality, and girls need to have some physical exercises, need to be strong. We take up so many awareness programs to strengthen them, especially, and to be morally, ethically strong. So we conduct various awareness programs for girls and the women to take care of themselves. Especially the women of the slums and servant maids do not know the importance of the sanitary pads, and hygiene was, they were not taking care of their hygiene. Then we educated the women and seen that they use sanitary pads. So every month we provide sanitary pads to the servant maids and the slum women. Now they're not using any unwanted clothes which are deteriorating their health. So what we said on Zoom platform in the year 2020, and we are trying our best level to implement in the environment where that is called as underprivileged in a community, and we are empowering the girls, boys, and the slum women and the servant maids to have a peaceful life. So what peace we call should be in the individual, we're trying our best level to attain peace in the minds of the slum people and the privileged community. That will be expanded, because I'm saying very happily that will be expanded because I'm getting huge number of calls from different slums to set up such kind of tailoring centers and other vocational activities and educational centers to empower the slum children of various places in Hyderabad and Secunderabad. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. Really commendable work done by the Life Foundation. So soon after this World Peace Summit, we are planning to have collaboration meetings with international organization. Actually, one of the main objective of the summit also SDG 17, achieving SDG 17, because an individual organization won't do anything, but when we come together, we can achieve anything. With that motto, we are advancing, and we are already in discussion with several eminent organizations. Hope we do sustainable development. Apart from sustainable development goals promotion, we do implementation from our side also. If it is a particle, that's good from our side. So I request Professor Rachna Chakravarti ma'am, now the time is yours. Without making any further ado, rock the show. Over to you, Excellency.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rajaram sir. And it's really my pleasure and honor to be associated with this global association, the Vishwa Humanity International Royal Council, who has been doing eminent work. They are not just saying, they're just doing it also, as already VJ Carolyn ma'am already explained the kind of work they have been doing. So it's my pleasure once again to welcome on the 17th day of World Peace Summit on Sustainable Goals. Today, global dignitaries will be voicing out the partnerships to achieve the goals. And greetings to esteemed guests, the panelists, and also the guests for the unique conclave. We all know that the main reason here is not just to speak and speak. It's just to create an awareness of these sessions. It is very important that a fit body, a calm mind, and a house full of love, all this can bring peace around. So Global Peace Summit is mainly intended to bring the peace around. And we know that peace starts with a smile. So we all need to spread the smile across the globe. The Sustainable Development Goals mainly was the main intention of the Sustainable Development Goals are really a call for action by all the countries, the poor or the rich or middle income, to promote the prosperity while protecting the planet. And this they recognize by ending the poverty and making the economic growth an address. Today, our respected guest and honorable dignitaries will be speaking about this impact of these goals and how we can make this goal, especially the 17th one, partnerships to achieve, which is now the call for an hour. We all need to partner to bring a global change. The impact of these goals on global sustainable development will largely depend on world's ability to transition and the governance. Yes, and moving ahead, my first guest tonight is our illustrious honorable guest, Professor Dr. Ankur A. Kulkarni, the Honorary Vice Chancellor of SDG University, Indore. So we are eagerly waiting, sir, to listen to you. So the virtual platform is all yours and the mic is all yours. We are ready to listen to you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Rachana Chakravarti. Am I
Yes,
audible
sir.
to you?
Perfectly,
Yeah,
perfectly, sir.
Yes. Professor Caroline Rajaram Pagodipilli of the Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, Dr. Patrick, Brigadier Abraham, Donisa Arbas, and all other dignitaries. I am thankful that you have invited me for the interaction. Partnership for the Goals is the 17th SDG. And what we believe that whatever the other SDGs are there, they can be achieved with the help of this SDG 17, that is partnerships for the goals. Because all other additional complex global challenges which requires collaborative actions, partnerships at various levels. Because all the stakeholders, including government, businesses, establishments, bureaucracy, civil society, and individuals all have to work together for this sustainable partnership to achieve the various goals. The key objectives, which includes the strengthening international cooperation, mobilization of resources, because resources definitely comprises mainly the financial. Then financial resources, which are domestic as well as international resources. And we have to support and implement all the sustainable development goals. Technology transfer is also one of the major important goal, which enhances access and sharing of technology, particularly the information and communication technology. Because of information and communication technology, the world has become very close. When during the corona also COVID, we have observed that due to this technology, we remain connected, we remain in touch with each other. So it is a very important. Capacity building is also one of the important key objective, especially for the developing countries. The enhancement of the capacity is necessary for the sustainable development and implementation of strategies, policies, and various development programs. The multi-stakeholder participation and partnership, for that encouragement is necessary between all the stakeholders which I have just listed, including government, civil society, various organizations, bureaucracy, private sectors, and all other stakeholders. Definitely, this partnership for the goal, which is SDG 17, it recognizes that all other 16 goals which can be achieved with the collaborative efforts and shared responsibilities. It highlights the importance of inclusiveness, transparency, accountability in partnership to ensure the effectiveness and its impact. By fostering partnerships for the goals, the aim is to create synergize, leverage resources, accelerate progress towards a sustainable and inclusive future. If we will take the review, because SDGs, we take the review of every 5 years. If we will take the review between 2020 up to 2020, because next review will be taken in 2025. So we observe that this sustainable development goals has achieved a larger progress, and the importance and progress of partnership in achieving this sustainable development goal has made a lot of impact across the globe. The in 2030s agenda of United Nations is having the big thrust on this sustainable development because the complex global challenges which require collective action, and for that partnership is very essential. And over the past 5 years, the numerous partnerships has been established. It may be at a local level, at a regional level, as well as at a global level. This partnership includes economics. It also encompasses a wide range of areas, including finances, capacity building, trade. Trade is very important and very effective. The resource mobilization and knowledge exchange has also created a lot of facilitation in various stakeholders. However, when we assess the overall impact and effectiveness of partnership for achieving the goals, it involves evaluation to the extent of partnerships who have achieved their objectives at the various level of collaborations, which includes all the various parameters. If we will broadly outline that what we have achieved within this 2023, so whatever just now the Patricia was talking, that gender-based violence. So 43 countries have come ahead to support and address and affirm their role and responsibilities regarding prohibiting gender-based violence. 71 million people across the 36 countries have got access to essential services through collaboration. Similarly, during COVID, a lot of temporary workers have lost their jobs, which was referred just now. So through this collaborative SDG 17, 1 million jobs were protected for the laborers as well as temporary employment. US dollar 1.6 billion raised to help the countries to recover from the COVID-19. 81 countries who are the part of United Nations have implemented the policies based on COVID-19, especially for socio-economic impact assessment. 38 million new voters were registered in this collaborative efforts across 30 countries. 82 countries adopted more than 580 digital solutions because we have emphasized on technology transfer and use of ICT. So these 580 digital solutions were adopted for e-commerce and e-governance. The very important aspect is building of resilience. So if we will talk about the numbers, 2.4 million rural households in 33 countries have benefited from clean, affordable, and sustainable energy. 115 countries reached UNDP's acceleration lab network. 3 million people across the 29 countries benefited from jobs and improvement in their livelihoods. Now, there are various challenges which all the stakeholders are facing while effective implementation of SDG 17. I would like to list out that some were very important is insufficient funding and resources. Because to achieve any goal and for effective implementation of these partnership goals, the adequate financial resources are essential. And limited funding are creating a lot of constraints, and the gaps are there which we need to close. Similarly, the lack of collaboration and cooperation between the stakeholder is one of the hindrance in this partnership for the goals. And so if there is a lack of effective collaborative mechanism, then it results in a duplication of efforts and inefficient mobilization of resources, as well as allocation of resources. Another important hurdle or barrier which we are observing is political and policy. Because of inconsistent and inadequate policies, regulation, and lack of political willpower, we are facing hindrance in effective implementation of partnerships. Similarly, limited participation and inclusivity is one of the reasons. Another very important reason is that whatever the partnering countries are there is no any accountability. That if a particular goal is not achieved, then who is responsible? So there is no any such mechanism which is available, which will decide that if we have not achieved whatever this gender sensitization, financial resources, job protection, whatever these objectives which we are having, if they are not achieved, who is responsible? So there is no any mechanism which decides accountability, and there is no any monitoring for that. Similarly, as we are having a large group of countries with a variety, is where we are having a fully developed countries, we are having the African countries, we are having the developing countries like India. So technology and knowledge gap is one of the hindrance. And so access to the technology, sharing of technology, knowledge transfer is essential so that we can achieve these goals very effectively. So on this platform, I would like to suggest few things that we have to enhance the funding, enhance financing, so that this funding will be dedicated for the sustainable development, which includes the domestic funding as well as global funding. For that, we can involve the public-private partnerships so that we can have the better funding. So this hindrance can be avoided. We have to establish the coordination mechanism so that it will strengthen the coordination between various stakeholders, so that smoothly this collaboration and effective implementation of SDG 17 will be possible. Similarly, there has to be some regulatory framework which will be monitoring and which will develop and implement supportive policies, regulations, and it should have the legal bindings. That will definitely help us to implement more effectively this SDG. All the stakeholders, their effective implementation, we have to ensure. For that, we have to go for the inclusive environment, where diverse perspective will be heard, and decisions will be made more collectively and collaboratively. Similarly, accountability has to be there, then only effective implementation will be possible. And very important suggestion which I would like, that is the long-term commitment. Because many stakeholders participate, but participate for the short term. If there is assurance for finance, for strengthening collaboration, for policy, it has to be both short-term as well as long-term planning. If there is a long-term commitment and planning, then only SDG 17 will be more effectively implemented. I'm thankful that you have given me an opportunity to present my views briefly about SDG 17. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. That was very, very powerful. And the points which you said, highlighted, that was really, really convincing. And of course, SDG 17 is the basis of all the other goals. If we can accomplish this earnestly, then all the other goals automatically will be followed. So thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us. And you are just an immense powerhouse of knowledge, and we have taken away a lot of golden nuggets from you. And I'm sure those who are watching us live also is getting influenced with your words, powerful, and how we can go step by step towards progress of the sustainable goal. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. We are truly, truly honored to have you today amidst us. So moving ahead, we have another very powerful speaker joining us today, all the way from Philippines, none other than Honorary Dunesa Abbas, founder and CEO of D Academy for Leadership and Excellence, UAE founder, CEO of Growth Unity from Philippines. We welcome you, ma'am, to the platform, and the virtual mic is all yours. Over to you, ma'am. Ma'am, please unmute yourself, ma'am. We are not able to hear you.
Sorry, thank you.
Yes.
All right. Excellencies, distinguished guests, esteemed leaders, and passionate advocates for peace, good evening. I am truly honored to speak before this illustrious gathering at the World Peace Summit. Congratulations to Visual Humanity United International Royal Council for this global initiative where voices from various sectors and organizations across the world are being heard. Tonight, we come together to discuss a crucial aspect of global development and peace, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 17. That is strengthening the means of implementation and vitalizing the global partnership for sustainable development. As we gather here, we face complex challenges that threaten global peace and prosperity. It is imperative that we take bold action to implement the SDGs, as has been tackled by other speakers in the previous days, including Sustainable Development Goal 17. SDG 17 recognizes the undeniable truth that achieving sustainable development and global peace requires a robust collaborative effort between all stakeholders, as mentioned by our previous speaker, including governments, civil society, businesses, and even individuals, to address the interconnected challenges we face today. The Sustainable Development Goals are not isolated objectives, but an interconnected framework for a prosperous and harmonious world. It calls for the strengthening of the means of implementation and the mobilization of resources to support sustainable development efforts. In other words, SDG 17 is the glue that binds the other SDGs together, ensuring that we have the resources and partnerships necessary to achieve our common goals. And I believe our host and even our first speaker have mentioned the same. However, the challenge lies not just in understanding the significance of SDG 17, but in translating our knowledge into meaningful action. The challenge before us is great, but so is our collective potential. The question is, how can we turn this potential into action and achieve meaningful progress toward SDG 17? I believe that the answer lies in 3 actions: partnership, mobilization, and innovation. First, we need to prioritize partnerships as they are the cornerstones in implementing the Sustainable Development Goals. SDG 17 calls for a renewed global partnership for sustainable development built on a shared vision and common goals. It reminds us that no single country, organization, or individual can address the complexities of our time alone. It is only through genuine cooperation, collaboration, and joint action, again, among governments, civil society, businesses, individuals, bureaucracy, organizations, that we can create lasting change. Indeed, this will require a shift in mindset away from competition and towards cooperation. Hence, we must strengthen existing partnerships, and I'm happy that we got connected to Vision. I myself have founded my own NGO on women empowerment, and let's see how we can support each other in our common goals. And let's forge new alliances and promote dialogue at local, regional, and global levels. By working together, we can leverage our collective strengths, knowledge, and resources to tackle issues such as poverty, inequality, climate change, and conflict. Secondly, we need to mobilize resources because they are vital to transforming our aspirations into tangible outcomes. I believe our first speaker elaborated this very well. The implementation of the SDGs requires significant financial investment, technological advancements, and capacity building initiatives. Governments and businesses can work together to mobilize resources, including through private or public and private partnerships, blended finance, and impact investing. We also need to tap into new sources of funding, such as crowdfunding and philanthropic donations. Governments must honor their commitments to provide development assistance and explore innovative financing mechanisms. Similarly, the private sector must actively engage in sustainable business practices, responsible investment, and social entrepreneurship. Additionally, we must emphasize the importance of fair trade, debt relief, and access to affordable technologies for developing countries. By mobilizing resources effectively and transparently, we can ensure that no one is left behind in our pursuit of sustainable development. Finally, we need to embrace innovation. The SDGs require transformative change, and this will require us to think outside the box. We live in an era of unprecedented technological advancement, and we must harness its potential for the greater good. We need to leverage emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, and biotechnology to accelerate progress toward SDGs. Innovations can revolutionize our approaches to renewable energy as well as digital connectivity. We also need to invest in research and development to find new solutions to old problems. We must foster a culture of innovation and experimentation, encouraging individuals and organizations to take risks and explore new ideas. Furthermore, we must recognize the importance of indigenous knowledge and traditional practice as they offer valuable insights into sustainable living and holistic approaches to development. However, a call to action is meaningless without tangible steps to follow. Do you agree? Tonight, I propose the following actions to accelerate the implementation of SDG 17. The first is establish national SDG implementation plans. Governments should develop comprehensive and time-bound plans that outline their strategies for implementing the SDGs, including actions, targets, and indicators. These plans should be inclusive, involving all stakeholders, and should align with international commitments. Second, foster public-private partnerships. Governments and businesses must form strategic partnerships to leverage their respective strengths and resources. By aligning business objectives with sustainable development goals, we can achieve meaningful progress in areas such as renewable energy, technology advancement, and many more. Third, and I am a strong believer of this, invest in youth empowerment. Governments, businesses, and civil society organizations should prioritize youth empowerment through education, skills development, and mentorship programs. By nurturing young leaders, we can tap into their potential and unlock innovative solutions to global challenges. The organization that I founded is called Growthinity, and we offer mentorship programs to women leaders. So this is in line to what I'm saying here. And the last is enhanced monitoring and accountability. Governments, in collaboration with international organizations, should establish robust monitoring and evaluation mechanisms to track progress in the implementation of SDG 17. Transparent reporting and accountability frameworks will ensure that the commitments are met and gaps are identified and addressed promptly. This is what the first speaker mentioned earlier, that when, how can we know that the objectives have been achieved? And if not, how are we going to monitor that? Who's accountable? And I believe as we continue to pursue SDG 17, we need to establish or enhance our monitoring and accountability mechanisms. The good news is that we have already made significant progress towards SDG 17. Over the past decade, we have seen a growing recognition of the importance of sustainable development, and we have seen a surge in partnerships and collaborations across sectors and geographies. However, there's much work to be done, much more work to be done, and we cannot afford to be complacent. As we leave this summit, and tonight is the last discussion on the SDGs, or Sustainable Development Goals, I challenge all of us to take action toward SDG 17. Let us commit to building strong partnerships, mobilizing resources, and embracing innovation. Let us work together to ensure that we leave no one behind and that we achieve sustainable development for all. Let us promote peace, justice, and strong institutions that can uphold the rule of law and protect human rights. Let us strive for sustainable consumption and production patterns, ensuring that our actions do not compromise the well-being of future generations. In conclusion, I believe that SDG 17 is not just an aspiration, but a call to action. It is a reminder that we are all in this together and that we must work together to create a better future for ourselves and for the generations to come. Let us rise to this challenge. Let us work towards a more sustainable and peaceful world. And let us ensure that we leave a positive legacy for the future. Thank you. And thank you, Vishwa Foundation, for having me as one of the guests tonight. It has been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really an honor listening to you, and you truly spoke about the global peace and about the sustainable development. Thanks for your insights and for enlightening us and moving to the better prospect of this future. That is the goal number 17, which is the main basis of all the other goals. Thank you so much, ma'am. We are truly, truly honored to have you. And we have all taken a note of all the pointers which you have pointed here in this platform. Thank you so much, ma'am. Moving ahead to our next guest tonight, we again have a very, very eminent and powerful speaker, Dr. Patrick Fernandes, FRACI, CCAM, Chartered Fellow Professor at OnChem, radiation and chemical analysis expert innovator all the way from Singapore. So, sir, we are truly, eager to listen to you about your prospect on this SDG goal number 17. So the virtual platform is all yours.
Thank you very much for the very kind introduction. Thank you for the two speakers for your enlightening thoughts. Let me just add to that for the subject on partnership to achieve goals. So in this context, good morning, afternoon, evening to our eminent and honored guests and fellow speakers, wherever in the world you are. I would like to thank Dr. Raja for kindly inviting me to speak at this international summit tonight, my time. Please allow me to share some thoughts about partnerships and how they can be used to achieve our goals. In this context, I would like to talk about our proprietary formulation, AIODIN, and how it has helped and is still in the presence and in the process, of helping to forge global partnerships. Partnerships are critical in many aspects of our lives, whether it's in our personal relationships, business ventures, or community endeavors. Working together with others can often be the key to success. This is especially true when we are striving to achieve a common goal. When we form partnerships, we bring together individuals, organizations, or even countries with different skills, knowledge, resources, and perspectives. By combining together these assets, we can achieve more than we would ever be able to do so on our own. Partnerships allow us to pool our resources, share our knowledge and expertise, and leverage our collective strengths to reach our shared objectives. Partnerships can be established for a variety of reasons. They can be created to advance social or environmental causes, promote economic development, or enhance public services. Whatever the reason, the goal of a partnership is always to achieve something that is greater than what any individual or organization can achieve on its own. There are many different types of partnerships, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. Some partnerships are formal agreements between organizations, and others are more informal relationships between individuals or groups. Some partnerships are short-term, while others are designed to last for many years. One of the most important elements of a successful partnership is trust. In order to work together effectively, partners need to trust each other's intentions, capabilities, and willingness to work towards a common goal. Trust is built through open communication, transparency, and a shared commitment to the partnership's objectives. Another important factor in successful partnerships is shared values. Partnerships are most effective when they are based on a shared vision for the future and a common set of values. When partners share a commitment to sustainability, social justice, or economic development, for example, they are more likely to be aligned in their goals and strategies. Specifically now, I would like to highlight the role that partnerships played and how it was particularly useful to forge partnerships using AIOD to help the less fortunate during the recent COVID pandemic. Through its use, we were happy to receive numerous testimonials that it had helped many to recover from common COVID symptoms like coughs, colds, and sore throats. Even now, with the demise of COVID, we find increasingly new applications for its use in other viral-related infections like the usual flu, or even in dental applications like halitosis, and various skin issues like acne. At its core, a partnership is a relationship between two or more entities that share a common goal and work together to achieve it. Now, let us look at how partnerships using a case study using our AID helped us to produce and distribute AID to get it to those most in need during the COVID pandemic. On the humanitarian front, we focused on helping people who had poor access to vaccines and viral medication. On the latter, we partnered with Berlin State and particularly with several people, the President Emir, Prime Minister Eden, Deputy Prime Minister Jason, Singapore Representative Mario, and their team to provide AID to the mountain tribes in the Philippines, Nepal, and several African nations. AID is a unique multi-purpose disinfectant and antiseptic solution that was designed to be safe, effective, and easy to use. It was created and formulated by our company, and through its various laboratory tests and testimonials, we found it to be very effective in quickly, in a matter of days, alleviating the symptoms of cough, colds, and sore throats that I mentioned earlier. Its uniqueness lay largely in its natural ingredients, and it was not alien to the human body. Through in-house tests, we knew we had a product that could help many, but we are also mindful that we could not achieve our goals alone. We needed partners who could help us to produce and distribute the products quickly through their respective networks and get it into the hands of those who needed it most. First, as an example, we partnered with a Singapore manufacturer that could produce large volumes of the product. We worked with them to ensure that the product was of the highest quality, met all regulatory requirements, and was packaged correctly. Through these partnerships, we were able to produce enough AID to meet the growing demand for disinfectants and antiseptics during the pandemic. Secondly, we partnered with organizations to get our AID to the places where it was most needed. We worked with distributors and not-for-profit groups to work with their networks to ensure that AID was readily available to anyone who needed it. We also partnered with online retailers to make the product available to anyone else, regardless of location. Lastly, we partnered with advocacy groups and community organizations to create and spread awareness about its benefits. We work with these partners to educate people about the importance of disinfection and personal hygiene during the pandemic. We also provided resources and guidance as to how to use the product effectively. In terms of global outreach, we are pleased that our partnership with Berlin was instrumental in helping us to get the product to the world, especially the countries where there was poor access to vaccines and a shortage of viral medication that I mentioned earlier. Through this partnership, we were able to make a positive impact on the world during a difficult and uncertain time. In conclusion, partnerships are an essential tool for achieving success, particularly in challenging times. By bringing together different skills, knowledge, resources, and perspectives, partnerships can help us to achieve more than we could ever do on our own. However, partnerships require trust, shared values, and a commitment to collaboration in order to be successful. With these elements, partnerships can create synergies that are greater than the sum of their parts to help us achieve the ambitious outcomes that we aspire to. Our experience with AID during the COVID pandemic is just one example of how partnerships can make a difference. For myself, I've since been appointed as Senior Advisor in Research to Berlin Health Ministry to work closely with the newly appointed Health Minister, Dr. Pandit, to further study what can be done on humanitarian grounds to help address existing common illnesses, exploring possible partnership arrangements with the World Health Organization and the United Nations. Let us continue to leverage on partnerships to work together, innovate, and create a better world for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Patrick. Your knowledge shows that you have truly envisaged all the other circles and how the example, the live example which you gave, how partnership had helped, the collaborations have helped to gain not only to a group of people, but to the extreme remote parts also. So thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with live examples, not just in black and white. So it was really, really encouraging and motivating to listen to you. Your words were really powerful, and we are truly honored to have you tonight amidst us and to listen to you. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So moving ahead with our next, another great speaker for the evening, we have none other than Brigadier Dr. V.D. Abraham, former Vice Chancellor of SB University, UP, and Oriental University, Indore. He is himself the powerhouse of knowledge, and we are eagerly waiting, sir, to listen to you about the partnership goals. So over to you, sir. Brigadier V.D.
Much, ma'am. Greetings, warm greetings to all the excellencies, organizers, and my dear audience. Before I touch upon this, my topic, what in a similar to lines with Dr. Caroline has said, I was Vice Chancellor at Indore in 2013. I am also of Indore Chapter Chairman of Sports Council of India. We used to go to slum to select the talents, find the talents, and promote them with sponsors. Secondly, my faculties used to go on the weekends to the slum area in the evening to take classes so that they can get educations. Another experience of mine in Indore, with this gray hair, I used to just go for the walking, and if all people used to walk there and with a stiff face. And this old man with the totally gray used to jog. And whenever I passed somebody, I used to wish them. They never used to respond. After a few days, they started responding me back. And I used to exchange smile and show us day back. If at all the days passed, if I am absent on a particular day, the next day they used to inquire, as where were you yesterday? This is how you pass peace wherever you are, whatever you are. Even if at all a word of appreciation to Donesa, she was delivering all the words with this total smile, in which we can see this, how it is this. In addition to that, my experience of partnership, I am also the UN representative Geneva for International Organization of Educational Development, which having headquarters at Delhi. Here, we used to have interactions and seminars with all international hierarchies, and we used to come out with the solutions, including starting from our pandemic days onwards, we used to have regular interactions. So this type of issues will be able to resolve our problems. Finally, with these things, I was the youth trainer for the youth ambassador for peace of Asia at Thailand for 4 days. In the fourth day, I have touched upon this partnership has a basic tool of it. Here I will even though this SDG 7, I will narrow down my deliberations to only, this SDG 17 has got 19 targets, of which I will be touching upon only the education field, that is 17.6, 7, and 8. Basically, it's talking about knowledge sharing and cooperation to access to science, technology, and innovation. My experiences as Vice Chancellor of 2 universities, Director and Principals of 3 institutions, Deans of 2 educational institutions of Hyderabad, Srinidhi, as well as Hyderabad Institute of Technology and Management, I do have fair idea of implementation tools to achieve these targets. Further, I am limiting my talk to Indian education with my experiences. Basically, Indian policies had limitations for cross-country collaborations, had stringent policies, regulations, and strict regulatory bodies. But keeping in view of this SDG, Indian government has worked very fast, and they have come out with a National Education Policy 2020, which has opened a floodlight thanks to all the problems of higher education systems and increased the prominence being given to the higher educations. This prominence largely to the converge of the trends within India. This prominence happened because of changing demographics and the success in many countries, keep seeing the success in many countries in expanding access and raising the quality of their primary and secondary education system. And it also has the increased integration among countries driven by economic globalization. And they also found this is because of the shift from product-based to knowledge-based economics. And finally, improved communication system and technological acceleration, explosion of it, is responsible for these factors. However, higher education institutions have been confronted with few demands for access, quality, economic self-sufficiency, transparency, relevance. Many institutions have responded with creative program strategies. My experiences is on today. I am also the peer team leader, go for the inspections of all the universities and institutions on behalf of National Accreditations Council. So I could guide them or take the feedback of their collaborations, of their plans and the things. I used to advise them the role of international partnerships play for universities, how they educate, research, and impact the disruptive future. How international work integrated learning opportunities are developed will make a difference in the ability of universities, basically to develop talented global leadership. International collaboration as a catalyst for change is the case study which Nanyang Technological University in Singapore that has brought about change through successful engagement in international collaborations, innovative implementation process, and has intense focus on why collaboration is necessary for knowledge transfer and explains how to do it. Ideas arise everywhere. but they are too likely to be result in the organized research as happens in universities and other research institutes. Ideas and new knowledge, however, may easily remain and confined within the campus of the universities, making them work for the society is a real challenge. If you know it, student exchange is the first step towards international collaboration. The graduates of the universities need to have the ability to interact with the people from other cultures and different backgrounds in order to be successful in the international labor market and to work effectively in a multicultural terms. In addition to that, the institutions also should cater for international students coming out and staying with us and with a different culture. And we have to entertain those cultures and keep them, feel them, let them feel at home in our premises. Consistent plans to be made to sustain partnership. It's very easy to make friends. It is very difficult to contain and continuously have friendship. One of the challenges for global partnership is not just setting them up, but also sustaining them. I came across an article, The Tricky Terrain of Global University Partnership. I repeat, The Tricky Terrain of Global University Partnership, which offers evidence of challenges that exist and how to address them. We got only one life. We cannot get into always in the test and trials. We should learn from others' mistake. This is some of the mistakes of people all around and how they overcome it, so that we should learn from those things. That is what it says. It presents a taxonomy that explains the basic types of collaborations and partnerships that exist and describes their elements, what they have in common, and the ways in which they are distinct. It then discusses the ways in which institutions that have entered into a global collaborations and partnership have both benefited and been challenged by these arrangements. So those, yes, there will be many hurdles. We have to cross over it to have success. Long-term sustainability of global higher education partnership planning and should address with regard to partnership and ask what kind of structures need to be put in place to sustain innovations and experiments. It identifies 4 specific long-term sustainability. These are divergent motivations and goals for partnership, inadequate planning and funding volatility, leadership turnover, and lack of formal and informal leaders from within partnership, and above all, the poor staff morale as a result of over-reliance and part-time employment. Most of the universities, whether private or this, if they look forward, they can't find funding. And they normally they raise the funding by keeping their bottleneck closer. So that is the problem which this is. It then proposes the conditions that can improve the prospects of long-term sustainability for colleges and universities. All are interested in a stable, mutually beneficial global partnership. Finally, considering the ethical issues pertinent to contemporary global partnership is required to be addressed by both host as well as guest. Making ideas work for society provides an intense focus on why corporations is necessary ingredient for knowledge transfer and explained how to do it. As I earlier said, ideas arise everywhere. But they are more likely to be the result of the organized research as happens in most of the classrooms, and it remains within the classrooms. It is that you have to put an extra effort to take this out to the society and make them feel. That reminds me of one more experience of Director of Lakshmi Institute of Technology in Gujarat, in which I have gathered the faculties who are basically from that village. 9 villages I visited and made them smart villages. Nothing, no finance has been there. Extra resource of a particular person is being shared by the neighbors. That's what I had done it. And subsequently, it has been appreciated, including by the present Prime Minister. Whenever I go for the NAC inspections of all institutions, I could see incubation centers, startup units, and they give seed money for the initial research. They also try an acid test for the economic viability and also find out whether it is viable for as per the society. And also they try to find a sponsor for the financial support. These are all teething problems of each innovations, every researchers, and it has to be find a solution for it. Every opportunity is to be addressed. We should not run away from difficulties. Every challenge is to be faced. Success will be yours. Yes, there is a saying in Hindi, "Hum honge kamyab." Yes, we can, and we will. Dream with your eyes opened to optimize your thought and talents as practiced by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Missile Man of India is a real example. Thank you very much. Once again, thanks to the organizers for inviting me and I got a great opportunity to listen all my great speakers ahead of me. I'm looking forward to hear more from others. Thank you very much. Take care.
Ma'am. Unmute yourself.
Thank you very much, sir, for being with us and enlighten us with your eminent knowledge and your experience. Highly appreciable. Really, I'm thinking that working for engineering institutions and universities, moving into the slum, empowering them, it's a great idea, sir. Really, it touched my heart. It inspired me. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
I think there may be some technical problem. I invite His
Professor
Excellency
Ritya,
Dr.
you are mute.
Ashna Chakrabarti ma'am, can I invite the next guest? Dr. Chaitanya P. Agarwal sir.
Yeah. There's some technical glitch coming.
Okay.
So please I'll take the next speaker. Sorry.
1 second. Continue, ma'am. Continue.
Hello. Some technical glitch.
Ashna ma'am, please switch off one video so that I request Chaitanya Agarwal sir to switch on your video. Okay, sir is ready. Sir, please unmute yourself, sir. So we invite His Excellency Dr. Chaitanya P. Agarwal sir, Professor Makanlal Chaturvedi, National University of Journalism and Communication, Bhopal. Over to His Excellency.
Namaskar. India, I mean Bharat, is the presidential position this year for the G20, as all of us are very well aware of. And the logo of it says Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, means the whole cosmos, the whole world is my own family. That particular sentence, it shares the secret of the World Partnership for the United Nations 17th SDG. Yes, we are a family. If that is the underlining concept, then only can really we enter that feeling where we are aware that it's a win-win deal for us. Otherwise, those who are on the more developed position of the ladder, the so-called developing countries, will keep on imposing their ideas, their notions, their concepts on the so-called underprivileged or developing countries. We have to understand, and it's high time to understand this, that we are a family, and in a family, there is nothing like somebody is bigger or somebody is smaller, somebody is elder or somebody is younger. It's a natural consequence. The baby gives you the pride to be a father or a mother. So that way the baby has an obligation on the parent. If this feeling is nurtured around the globe at the very roots of its happening, then only we can enter into this feeling of partnership. Otherwise, it will be on the periphery. We have to understand that it is a win-win deal for each one of us. And as such, we are one. The whole cosmos is one. See, your body is having 7 trillion cells. Maybe the body cells do not understand or believe in that. The cells of the hair might say that I am gray in color or black for you or blonde for somebody else. And the cells of the feet are of a different perspective. If I have some way of communicating with these cells and I try to sell a concept to them that, hey, you the cell of the hair and the cell of the toe, you belong to one cosmic body, one individual body that is called Chaitanya for me, that is called Dr. Rajaram for you, or Dr. Rachana here who is comparing us, who is binding us together, as she rightly said, it is the glue. This 17 SDG is the glue for the earlier 16 SDG. So these cells, what do you think? Will they believe the notion that they are part of the same body? No. If you look at the distance between these cells, they are far away if you look at their sizes. The cell is microscopic and the body distance of 6 feet is in proportional equal to thousands of miles, thousands of kilometers. They have altogether different perspective, functions, appearance. So these two cells will not believe that they are the part of the same body. But existentially, they understand that, yes, we are the parts of the same body. That's why when the cells of the ear, they hear that somebody has abused, the cells of the hand, they go and put a slap. That is how it happens. At the root, they understand that we are the part of one body that is called Dr. Chaitanya. In the same manner, this whole world, we might be altogether different colors, different languages, different perspectives, but we understand that we are one. That's why the United Nations comes out, assisting all those who are in need in the instance of crisis. We don't look at whether this is a friend country or a foe country. We run forward for a help. This essential feeling that is hidden in the deeper layers of the subconscious mind, that needs to be brought to the surface of the conscious mind. It is equally important. Unless that is done, the hidden layer will remain hidden. And if we are all one, then what has divided us? If you look at that, on the surface, there are many reasons, but the very deepest core of the reason, if you look at, if you ask me, maybe you might not agree with me, that goes to the religious notions. We are not divided by the boundaries of the nation as deeper as the so-called religious fragmentations. It is essential to understand. And on this surface of earth, there are several religions, but there is only one so-called religion which says this is not a religion, which is called Sanatana Dharma in the classical literature. What is Sanatan? Sanatan is eternal. And Dharma here indicates the way of living. So it's the eternal way of living which propagates no notions, no concepts, no hierarchy, no possessiveness, and it had established thousands of years back some notions, some way of living which is most eco-friendly, which is most sustainable, which is most family united type of environment. They have not even named themselves as a religion. The term Hindu, which is used by the world for this Sanatan Sanskriti, was coined by some other visitors of the nation, of the land. Some foreigners who came here and they came to a river called Sindhu and they couldn't pronounce the S, so they started mispronouncing as Hindu and it became the name. I am not here to promote any religion. As a scientist, I am a computer engineer by profession. I have 26 patents in my name, coming from UK, coming from WIPO, Australia, India. And I am a specialist of mind and computer interfacing. With that perspective, when I have analyzed this whole scenario, I have realized that this particular faith, that is called Sanatan Sanskriti, it is having the essence of this partnership around the globe. That's why our respected Prime Minister, Honorable Shri Narendra Modi, has been taken as a leader of the world to unite the fighting continents and to bring them to one family. And that's where this G20 presidency, when it came to Bharata, they have given the sentence, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is one family. We are one. One humanity, one future, one being. I would like all those grand people, great people listening to this United Nations developmental goal discussion to come to this unison that yes, this is in this 10 or 15 minutes time, none of us would be able to give you the complete blueprint, nor united all the speakers of this 18 days, they won't also be able to give that blueprint because everybody has a different perspective. Given an opportunity to me, I would say, just open the basic principles of Sanatan Sanskriti that had evolved 1,000 years back in this piece of land which is called Bharata, and take it as the roadmap for sustainable development of the United Nations goals. And in specific, this particular feeling that the whole world is my family. Let it be a win-win situation for each one of us. We are putting something in and we are receiving something back. This universe, it does not go by independence. It does not go by dependence anyway. because dependence is bringing some slavery. Independence is not possible because when we are together in a room, the breath that I am leaving out is taken by somebody as breath in. The plants are releasing oxygen and we human beings are taking that oxygen in and generating carbon dioxide for those plants to survive and to extend their lives. So it is basically interdependence. We are all interdependent beings. And like the 7 trillion body cells in one person's body, every cell is interdependent on everybody else. So that feeling, it should develop, it should persist in the heart of all those who are listening to this discourse, because you are all leaders, the core team of developed people who have a concern for the Mother Earth, who are committed for the sustainability, who are feeling that this whole world should evolve. We should move from I towards we, towards us, rather than me as an individual, this whole group of people whom I call my family, to extend a bit my nation. And why to keep the boundary of the nation, to extend it further, the globe? It is my family. That brings from within the feeling of sustainable partnership. All other things are the limbs and the branches of this seed which one can nurture to achieve this sustainable goal. And if this 17th goal is met, automatically it includes the earlier 16 goals. As a citizen of the nation, of the globe, I feel my commitment towards this sustainable development as my responsibility. I spoke on the religious barrier of it, which needs to be dissolved. In particular, if there are some people or some so-called religious ideologies in the world which still believes that only they are authorized to live on Mother Earth, they should be understanding this fact that they are doing a self-sabotage. They are entering into a suicidal status if they feel that only they are authorized to live, all others are kafir. They must understand. And amongst that group also, there are people who are sensible enough. That is their responsibility to make their fellow friends understand this. Otherwise, by the process of natural elimination, they are going to be isolated. Nobody needs to do any revenge or any attack on any ideology. But yes, the natural elimination will keep them isolated from the growth, because the nature understands how to maintain harmony into itself. The Mother Earth is alive. This whole cosmos is vibrating and pulsating. We, people of scientific attitude, think that only human beings are having intelligence. But no, my dear friends, that is not the fact. This whole cosmos, made with the planets, made with the stones, every fiber of this nature is made of the same intelligent, pulsating being, and it understands how to evolve as a race, as a planet Mother Earth. And that happens with this win-win scenario. The world is my family. I am a citizen of the world. These nurturing feelings need to be evolved. Times have gone when the tribes were required to sustain their sustainability or their livelihood by fighting amongst the other tribes. Yes, those days are gone. We are evolved state of human state today. So that competitiveness is no more required. The God or the cosmos, I would like to call it the cosmos or universe, because concept of God, Bhagwan, that might be dividing. But if we talk of the Mother Earth as a pulsating, that's why the Sanatan Sanskriti has given that word, Mother Earth. The Sanatan Sanskriti has taught us to be in harmony, in family terms with the inanimate so-called things like the earth. That is how we come from our heart, from our soul, from our roots of the being, to the compassionate feeling that I am a citizen of the whole Mother Earth, that I am a cell of this entire planet, which is called Mother Earth. I am a cell of this bigger scenario, which is having the stars and the galaxies. And yes, the smallest blade on the grass is connected to the farthest star. That's where the Sanatan Sanskriti has given birth to the astrology or around the world, which predicts and which defines the relationship and which teaches you to be more harmony, to be in more unison, to be in more love and joy with the whole cosmos. That is the master key. And the starting point is never the ending point. You cannot say that I am a citizen of world and keep on fighting with your spouse, with your mother-in-law, with your children, or in office with your other colleagues. You have to start the journey from your own self, from your vital component of family. Then you come to the institute where you work, the surrounding, the business people, the network, the smaller gathering, which is called your society, and then the nation, and then the whole world. So my take on this topic is we must be sensitive and we must promote this understanding. Those cells of the body which are more evolved has a more natural responsibility, has a natural honor to share their light with the other cells of the body. Not sitting on a judgmental seat, not being on a pedestal higher than others, but be the elders in the family. And that is how I congratulate all of you here, Dr. Rajaram, and the entire galaxy which you have collected here, to bring this feeling from within you. I have just shared my heart with you. I am not here to give any sermon. I have just shared my heart, and I have just awakened a lamp in your heart, which was there, which you knew. That's why I can see that satisfaction, that coming home type of feeling amongst the few faces that I can see on my screen. And I'm sure it will percolate to every being on the planet. That's my take. I would like to conclude here. Namaskar. God blessings.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Actually,
Thank
from
you.
the beginning onwards, I'm thinking of not speaking here on this platform today because actually you forced me to speak. Today you forced me to
Yes,
speak.
very
First,
Okay.
Honorable Vice Chancellor onwards, then the Honorable Donesa, then the Honorable Patrick, then our Honorable V.D. Abraham, sir, Brigadier. So everyone, whenever they end, it's my habit to speak something, but
Yeah.
we don't just I keep on listening. But anyway, you forced me to speak here, sir. I want to mention a few things. Really, if speaking is an art, like music, singing, right, that's what you have done now, sir. Because we were all enthralled. We were engrossed into your speech. So whatever the body language, first of all, the body language, the voice, the diction, we were all mesmerized, sir. That is the first thing. And second thing, you have spoken about all the religions. Really, that's what we need. Actually, our first organization, Telangana Kala Parishad, it's about cultural exchange. Because
Yes, sir.
there are many cultures. Culture is established in the base of earth. So forgetting those things, we are doing all this. But thanks so much, sir, for giving such a wonderful, beautiful speech. Professor Dr. Vijay Carol ma'am and I request Rachna Chakravarti ma'am, give some sound feedback to our Chanakya Agarwal sir and Brigadier sir, because we have missed it due to some technical problem. So we should not do that. Over to you, Excellency.
Yes. Yes.
It's a great honor,
Yeah,
sir.
Vijay Carolyn ma'am. Yeah, please.
I'm engrossed and deeply involved. And I'm visualizing how the cells are connected, how the cells speak to each other, how the coordination takes place.
Yes.
Similarly, we human beings of different nations to be coordinated and for the peace of the entire globe, what we call as Vasudhaiva Kutumbam. Really, sir, it's so inspiring, touched my heart, and every cell of my body is getting vibrated listening to your message. Thank you very much, sir,
Dr.
for being with
Caroline,
us.
I have no words to express your whole team efforts for no specific interest or for no even expectation that I should come and thank to you. Dr. Rachna has been a wonderful compare. She has been adding honey to the whole program, and hats off to Dr. Raja Rao. Really, I have a feeling of getting connected to my own roots. And it would be
Thank you,
definitely
sir.
my
Thank you so
honor.
much.
It will be
means
my
a lot.
honor to contribute ahead in your nation. Let us all, there is international
Yes, yes.
committee here. Let us all gather more empowerment to Dr. Raja Rao and his team so that we all evolve as a family on this Mother Earth. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now we have
Thank
our
you
friend
so much, Dr.
Wahid Musa
Dr.
ji.
Chaitanya. Yeah, yeah. I just want to
Namaskar.
add few lines.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I know it's very less with what you said. You just rejuvenated our soul, and that is what is global peace. I say the
Kya baat hai.
World
Very
Peace
good.
Summit. So
Bahut
it
badhiya.
is, yes, sir. And I just wanted to say, I know already Rajarao sir and Vijay Carolyn ma'am said, but I couldn't stop myself the way you spoke that yes, it starts from family. It starts from yourself. We
Yes.
have the peace within us. So
Yes,
we
yes.
need to
Kya
execute
baat.
that. And once we can do that, there is peace all around. And you spoke so nicely,
I
so
appreciate
brilliantly.
Dr.
Sir,
Rachna. Looking at your
yeah.
attire, I also was tempted to wear my Rudraksha
Birds
mala,
of a
which I
same feather
intentionally
flock
kept in the
together.
side in the beginning. Thank you
Thank
very much.
you. Thank
God
you.
blessings.
Thank
God
you.
Okay, okay.
Thank you. Thank you,
Rachna
sir.
ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Our
Yeah,
dear
we'll
friend
move
Wahid
ahead.
Musa. His
Yes, we'll move
Excellency.
ahead to our next speaker, Dr. Wahid Musa, multi-awards winning global leader, educationist, speaker, human rights and peace ambassador, humanities scientist, humanitarian author, and of course an entrepreneur. So Dr. Wahid Musa, the virtual platform is all yours. Today we are experiencing a great storehouse of energy, 17th day with a lot of synergizing energies all around. So Dr. Musa, over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And also greetings to each and every one of you. This has been a great journey because I've learned a lot from each and every speaker here. And then each and every one is amazing. Each and every one has made a powerful contribution. So I'm looking forward for all these suggestions and all these powerful contributions to be gathered as a document that will be served as a manual for global peace, or maybe to be presented to the UN that this is what we are deciding that is the way forward for us to achieve global peace in this world. So all the speakers have made wonderful submission, and then I really admire all speakers and then their contribution. So what I'm going to do is that they've said everything. They've said everything. I'm just going to touch some few lights or one or two things coming from Africa and also Ghana. So peace is very, very important to human life. Peace is very, very important to human life. I believe that when we have peace, there'll be comfortability in our homes, there'll be safety in our society, there'll be good governance, there'll be a lot of advancement in the world. Peace is an ingredient that we need for social development, economic development, political development, and educational development, and social development. Peace is very, very important in that sense. So when we look at peace, like as my mentor said, the speaker who just finished it, we have to look at peace as a way of consciousness. When you see peace as a way of consciousness, it will be able to reflect your heart, and then it will be able to resurrect that good intention that you have for the world. But there is one important thing, it's all about partnership to achieve peace in the world. And then this is one of the demonstration of partnership. What we are doing right now is partnership. We're coming together on this platform to coexist as one people to face an agenda towards achieving peace is the most amazing partnership you can ever think of. Maybe we can also break down partnership into smaller units. We can look at partnership from our society. We can also look at partnership in our nations. We can also look at partnership in the world. So when we are able to divide partnership into these units, then it will make the whole world understand where we stand and where we are going to and where we will reach. Peace is so important that everything, my father used to tell me that charity begins at home. In our own domestic houses and homes within our families, how are we practicing the culture of peace within our families? How are we practicing peace within our social circles? How are we practicing peace within our businesses? How are we practicing peace in our educational system? How are we practicing peace in our nation? Then we will then look at the globe at large. So now it means that peace is a consciousness. If we decide, if today we all in the whole world, we all admit today that peace is the only thing we want to achieve, with the right mindset, we will surely achieve that peace. So peace is all about creating that sustainable friendship within two or more people or a group of people. That friendship with good intention, that friendship devoid of corruption, then we will be able to achieve that peace in the global level. Diplomacy is very important in we achieving peace in the global level. Because if nations can coexist together, if nations can come together to achieve common goals, to achieve what I call universal goal, which is what is very important to be achieving peace in the large extent. So now, diplomacy is a key factor in we achieving peace. For that matter, it means we must have what we call global rights. Global rights means that every country has the right to be themselves. In every level of diplomacy, one country shouldn't invade another country. It's so important today we look at certain super powerful countries are trying to invade other countries because those countries are not powerful. Nations are building weapons, nuclear weapons. Nations are building ammunition because of war. So if nations are not even trusting their neighbors, it means there's a problem within our intercontinental circle. Just for example, Russia and Ukraine. Russia is a super powerful country. Ukraine is also a country, is also a developing country. So if only a super powerful country can invade small countries, then it means there is no justice to peace. That is why we have diplomacy, where leaders can come together to discuss their problems. They can come together to discuss global issues. But if what is the only suggestion, or what is the only solution for which the dam is peace is just an understatement.
Here, brother, there is network issue. Your voice is not on.
America, Germany, Italy, UK, and all the countries you can mention. If America has their own.
Yes, that's a network issue. But Wahid Musaji in Africa, he was doing commendable job. He's a pioneer there. He is doing all sustainable work. Having his presence here really interesting to us. Thank you, Excellency. Thank you so much. But I request Professor Rachna Chakravarti ma'am continue with the program.
Yeah, thank you so
We
much.
have guests from USA. Over to you, Rachna.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, sorry, we lost Dr. Wahid in between. But of course, as Raja Rao sir briefed us, he's doing amazing work there in his country. And we are truly, truly honored to have him also in our platform. So moving ahead with our next amazing guest and speaker for tonight, we have Dr. Melody L. Gracia from USA and Mark Anthony King from USA. So can we have them pinned up?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I would request our guests, yes, with the screen. Yeah, now we can see you. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
give
you.
us 1 second. We're just going to take off some background that's making us disappear
Okay,
here.
okay.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
problem,
no
no problem.
issues, no issues. So we can see that global peace starts at home. And of course, always Mark Anthony King and Dr. Melody always proves that with their appearance together, which is the dynamic visuality of both of them
Oh, sorry
to
for my
always
network.
bring the peace. Dr. Musa will take you later on to conclude your ending part of the speech. So we have Dr. Mark King and Dr. Melody Gracia. This is actually, I call peace because last time too, when they were there here as guests, I was also there as the chairperson. And thank you so much always for spreading that peace, that lovely smile. And as Mother Teresa said, peace comes with smile, and that lovely, amazing smile, which you both have it together, is the basis of global peace. So we need to continue with that smile and that touch, which is the humanity, which we call it. And that is what we want to see it from you all. So over to you. Today, we are speaking about the partnership goals, which is very, very important. So over to you.
Thank you so very much for that warm welcome. You know, one of the things that both Melody and I love about your culture is just that warmth, right? Yes. India has been throughout the years very, very good to us. So we are honored. Yeah. Family. Yeah, your family. We're honored to be here. We are so happy to have the second opportunity that we did not expect, but we accept it graciously because at the end of the day, the 17 SDGs are something that not very many people know about, but ultimately are going to and are currently affecting the entirety of the world. Which brings us to one of the points that we want to make. You know, we live in a society that is so divided. We're divided not just as a world, but even within our own borders, even within our own country, within our own state, within our own districts. There is this divisiveness. And it's my opinion that regardless of your economic situation, regardless of your race, your culture, your class, your religion, the same God that created me, created you, created Melody. We share that same core bond. We are all children of the same God. We are all one people. So it's important to foster a sense of collaboration where society is trying to dictate competition.
So if you look at those two key words that we just delivered to our family from around the world, because we're talking about peace, right? And peace begins, as you say, in our homes, right? And if we are to treat each other as family, there's always going to be a natural competitiveness, but the competitiveness needs to be of a healthy stance. But what we're looking at here is collaboration. You know, I wrote something down. Peace is supposed to bring a sense of togetherness. That is what is not, that is what is lacking in the world right now. In the dominion and dominance of each country trying to outdo each other, we have forgotten the sense of togetherness. And we need to empower, we're both appointed ambassadors in over 80 countries as world civility ambassadors. This word civility This the word that means civility is a dying art. What is civility, right? Because civility brings in common respect. Civility brings in the common language of peace. It's been said that the words have power. So,
in the beginning was the word.
Yeah. So words can either start wars, or words can bring that sense of togetherness that brings peace to drive in solutions. And we specialize in re-engineering those verbal words that usually is lost in the dens of cultural ignorance, right? But if we had understanding of the word civility, then we can bring peace talks in squares.
And that is so critically important. At the end of the day, what is civility? So we spoke about peace. We can't have peace in the world if we don't have peace in our own country. We can't have peace in our own country if we don't have peace in our own city or village. We can't have peace there if we don't have peace in the home. We can't have peace in the home if we don't have internal peace. If we are constantly at war with the person that looks at us in the mirror, we're going to be at war with the world in some capacity or another. So what is civility at the end of the day? At its core, at its most basic constituent, civility is the ability to re-engineer dialogue. How is it that two people of opposing viewpoints, of opposing religions, can get together, share their story, share their trials, their tribulations, their struggles, their pain, their hurt, their contention, their bitterness? And even if they don't agree about it, even if they're still at odds with one another, there is no violence. There might be a sense of understanding and compassion. There's a quote that I love. I absolutely love it. And it says, if you were to spend 5 minutes alone with your greatest enemy, you'll realize that you have more in common with them than you thought. Civility is being able to be open and transparent, but nonviolent.
And that actually brings us to the second part, which is cultural understanding and sensitivity. I had the privilege of hosting a women empowerment session last year, and in front of 400 Nigerian women, but I brought in global speakers. And it was very interesting that the solution that the more developed country was presenting, had a very limited vision, a very limited scope, because the solution they're presenting fitted their culture, but not of the culture of the 400 women that we were trying to assist, right? So again, when we start dealing on a global order, we need to take the time to understand what is the culture, what are the hindrances, what are the challenges? Do the solutions I bring to the table fit their current environment, their current political systems, their current economic disparities? Because we are from the Western world, we're in the United States.
Yes, Western problems are a lot different than other problems that are plaguing different parts of the world. And as Americans, as people from Great Britain, as people from, Pakistan is the fifth largest country in the world.
Yes.
These what's perceived as global superpowers, we have a moral, ethical, celestial responsibility, because in the blessings that we've been given, whether it's technological, whether it's monetary, whether it's connectivity, we're in a position to drive in solutions. We're in a position to really drive in impact to the places and spaces that are craving it, that are desperate for it. But at the same time, it's a double-edged sword, because our abundance typically is met with ignorance. One of the things that I love about one of the meetings that Melody held is you had two countries. You had Nigeria, 400 women. 400 women in Nigeria. And then you had Dubai coming in, and we love Dubai. Dubai's also been very good, but at the same time, you had Dubai trying to drive in solutions in terms of cryptocurrency and in terms of Bitcoin and, entrepreneurship, which is great. Entrepreneurship is one of the most critical elements that allows a person to free themselves economically and financially, but at the same time, we look at priorities and perspectives. What good is blockchain and Bitcoin if there is no clean water?
And just to edify, what Mark just said here, we are currently, we've been pulled to consult with the government of Mongolia, right? And again, the solutions that we have in the United States will not fit into the current environments of Mongolia when they're trying to build structures. So we've consulted for other countries, even in Africa, Botswana, Uganda, Cameroon, the people that are facing Cameroon are faced with genocide that the media doesn't talk about. This is what these people, so we understand again from our last session from last week, what is the value of human life? Right? We have to continue to start at that core. So again, when we drive in that peace talk, we have to look at it from the perspective of collaboration and civility, right? Of that respect of each other's culture and coming into agreement, despite the differences we may have, is coming to an agreement that ultimately the goal is to drive in solutions and put ego away on the side.
Yeah. At the end of the day, ego has two beautiful definitions. It's eliminating growth opportunities. I believe you're eliminating opportunities to grow, to stretch, to expand, to become a person infinitely greater than you ever had the capacity to become otherwise, and then edging God out. There's a lot of things in this world that we should be edging out. We should be edging out racism. We should be edging out corrupt politicians and corrupt leadership, which is at the end of the day, the cause of every single catastrophic thing that happens in any company or in any country. It all starts at leadership. So there's a lot of things that we want to edge out in this world, but God is not one of the things that we should ever edge out, because we've seen what happens, the catastrophe and the calamity that ensues when we start trying to govern ourselves based on our own desires and our own ego. One of the quotes, one of the scriptures in the Bible that I absolutely love as it pertains to collaboration and competition, and just how interconnected we are as a species. We are so connected to each other in ways that we can't even begin to fathom. What affects me affects you, affects Melody, affects all of us. And this scripture really hits the nail on the head. It's 1 Corinthians 12:26-27, and it reads, "And if one member suffers, all the parts share the suffering. If one member is honored, all rejoice with it. Now you collectively are Christ's body, and individually you are members of it, each with his own special purpose and function." Now there's a lot to unpack there, but we are all one. If any of us is suffering, we collectively rejoice as a species. And the end of it, it says each with his or her own special purpose and function. It is so critically important to understand that we are all uniquely made. It's important to be inclusive, but understand that in that uniqueness are the solutions that are going to drive the change that shapes nations, that impacts cultures, drives narratives, and ends wars, and unifies the divisiveness. So each of us has our own special purpose and our own special function, part of life. A mentor of mine said there are two great days in this life: the day that we're born and the day that we understand why we were born. You are uniquely made, and God gave you gifts. God gave you talents that he did not give me. I don't have what you have. So part of life is learning to identify those gifts and those talents. Part of life is learning to cultivate and nurture and grow those gifts and talents. It's like a seed. We have to water it every single day. We have to prune it. We have to make sure that it's healthy. And ultimately, every day, this is something that Melody taught me that I've been implementing she's taught me a lot. She's been an amazing mentor in my life, but she told me that
So happy.
I'm honored. Thank you. She told me that a major part of life, once you've identified those gifts and talents, is pray. You know, the one thing I love about God is that God doesn't divide any of us. God is the one unifying force that we all have, And it is in praying to God to activate those gifts, activate those talents that he put in us, weaponize it for his purposes, because everything that God does is two things. Everything that God does is perfect, and everything that God does is good. So when we can take those gifts and talents, weaponize it for God's purposes in our lives, that is when change is made.
And, to elaborate on what Mark said between those two dates, the most important part is the dash in the middle.
Yeah.
You have but a short time to create a legacy impact that you were created for, right? So let's not waste time trying to edify the differences. Let's spend time trying to drive in solutions and work together, and this goes beyond just peace. This goes, the moment we have right now is the only moment we're going to get.
Yeah.
Right. So we get to raise, and instead of saying, let's leave a better planet for our children, why don't we raise better children for our planet and teach them leadership? Let's bring it back to the old cultures of respect and spending quality time and proper education. This brings us to our very last point. Will you want to take that?
I can be transparent here,
Yes.
because again, despite the ambassador titles, the doctor titles, everything, I'm just a man. I'm just a man who I wake up every day and I ask God to take the flawed, broken person that I see in the mirror. I get emotional. And I pray that God makes him good. And every decision that I've ever made in my life where I've used my own desires as a barometer for what I should do or where I should go has ultimately ended in disappointment for me and has hurt other people along the way. I know that I don't have the capacity of governing myself. I'm honest enough to admit that. That's why I turn to the Bible, because that is my barometer for how to live a good life. And we all have our own barometers for that, but ultimately, the things that God wants for us is infinitely better and greater and more beautiful than anything we could ever even dream of for ourselves, because God loves us more than we love ourselves. Which brings us to our last point, which is understanding that despite the fact that there are things that you want in this world, there are things that you want to accomplish and achieve, the greatest things that have happened in my life, in Melody's life, and in our collective lives have been a consequence of submitting and surrendering to God's purpose in our life, or what we call God's soul script. There's a script that we author, and then there's a script that God authors. And part of that is understanding to trust in supernatural wisdom. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all of your heart, not all of your mind. This is what God wants, because this is the first organ that God formed. When you were in the womb, your heart was formed before your brain, before anything else. This is the genesis of change, of truth, of love, and it is what bonds us all. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him.
And he will direct your path. Right? Many of us have hurts, and I can be transparent too. Sometimes it's the people who we love the most, or the church that we have gone to, or the friends that have betrayed us. But I always say, never judge God by the people who have hurt you, because the deepest adversities in our life becomes the catalyst to our purpose. And I need for you to understand that. And we really need to redefine what true leadership means. And it starts in this room of bonding together to represent that one God that has that one voice, that has that one heart. And it's literally comes down to one love.
Yeah. We are all brothers and sisters. And you want to know where collaboration started? It started with this summit. Different ages, different genders, different walks of life, different belief systems, but we're all working toward one common goal: the betterment of the quality of life of everybody from every country in every capacity. And that ultimately is what leadership is about. It's about coming together, putting our differences aside, focusing on the one similarity that we have, which is the God that created us, and working to just drive in that change, and seeing a brother and seeing a sister in whomever you look at. I look out at all these beautiful faces here, looking back at us, and I see leaders, I see God's children, I see my brothers and sisters who are working diligently, passionately, intelligently, brilliantly to drive in those solutions. And, you know, a big part of that walk is feeling that love and accepting that love and knowing exactly how much you are loved. And I'm going to try to get through this without crying. I'm not making any promises, but we're all family here at the end of the day. One of my all-time favorite scriptures is Psalm 91, 14 through 16. And if you believe nothing else that I've said today, nothing else that Melody has said today, I invite you to believe this. Because he loves me, says the Lord, I will rescue him. I will protect him, for he acknowledges my name. He will call on me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life, I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. It is in that promise that we have the certainty that regardless of what has been done to us, regardless of who is against us, if God is with us, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish. There is no mountain that we cannot overcome. There is no obstacle we cannot completely demolish. And there is no pain and no hurt that we cannot completely heal.
We stand as we come to a closing. You know, it's always such a fast time when we have to send important messages. We have met with global leaders. I was in India in 2019 and met with the Dalai Lama. I was asked to then empower, women in the Tibetan nunnery. We have met with the Princess of Bahrain when we were in Dubai.
We had dinner with the leader of Mongolia.
We had, presidents, third countries, our faith walk. Because God doesn't call on the qualified, he qualifies the called. He searches every heart of every man and woman in this and sees the capacity, the adversity, the pain that we had to go through. But because in that pain, we drives in the solutions for the promise of tomorrow, right? We never would have thought that we would be meeting presidents of nations, global leaders, looking for wisdom and knowledge that we can help solve human suffering and bring in solutions in corporations, consulting. We have a television show that we said we're launching in 35 countries, right? Because this is the time where we're asking men, real leaders, step up. The women are tired. The women are tired of leading, right? And to the women, let's empower the men instead of criticizing them. In the process of this, let's collectively bring on the talents, the gifts that Mark, had stated earlier, but more so, who is our identity in Christ? Because once you're able to own that identity and who God made you, there's a very strong force that backs you up and you become unstoppable. So we thank you so much for the time once again this evening.
Such an honor
that we
being here
spent
with
with
you.
all of you.
Thank you so much, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much. This is really like as if you're speaking all our heart out together. We all share the same feeling together in this
I have
platform.
put a message. I have put a message. Martin Luther King is reborn.
Oh my goodness, you honor me. Thank you so much.
Yes, very true, very true. So actually we are talking about partnership goals. So as you very brilliantly said, Dr. Mark King, that we need to make partnership goals with God, the divine power. If we can have partnership with God, the unique soul, the one and only God himself, and if we can get connected with him, with his principles, with his rules, what he had sent us on this earth, each individual with a peace incarnate, which we all are. If we can get connected and make partnership with all those which God has imbibed in us from the beginning, with a pure heart giving it to us, and the soul which is inside us. So this, if we can do it, there will be no problem. The sustainable development goals will just go together very politely, very silently, and we will reach our target 2030 with that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Excellencies. Just 1 minute, Excellency.
Yeah.
I request for this session, last speaker, we have His Excellency Dr. Vishwanath from UK. So he's the last speaker. I request all the chief guests, please stay because we have vote of thanks for this first session and we'll start second session. So I request few minutes because after his valuable speech, we'll share vote of thanks, then we can go back to. Over to you, Rachna.
Just 1 second before we proceed.
Yeah.
It has been so melodious to listen to Mark and Melody. It has really echoed our hearts, I tell you. And the language of love, as you rightly said, that it was the heart which was built in mother's womb first. That language is universal, and I strongly trust that that language of love, as Jesus rightly said, love is God. That language only can bring us togetherness.
Together.
Thank you very much.
This
Hats
togetherness.
off. Hats off. Hats off.
I always say global peace, world peace is possible only when we have the togetherness, and that's
excellent
from home.
Excellent.
And
excellent.
this we can see in their home together. Thank you so much. So moving ahead with the next speaker for the evening, very eminent Dr. Vishwanath Pongana, PhD from entrepreneur, author, and award-winning business and life coach from all the way from London. So, sir, we are eagerly waiting to listen to you, sir. Over to you. Sir, you need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I have unmuted.
Yes.
Namaste, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and late good evening to all the wonderful people here. I'm still in the office. It's 5:40 p.m. and I could not manage to, get into this call when it started. My apologies. And I could hear, the last two speakers speaking, and I could very well resonate with the purpose and intent of this particular, call. Yeah. In fact, this afternoon I picked up time to quickly, wrap up a particular PPT, but now I felt I don't need that PPT. Right? PPTs are tons, right? PPTs are everywhere. If you type in Google, Chat GPT, tons of content is there, but what's missing is the purpose of this particular event, which you all are living, right? And I have been treading this path of partnerships pretty much since 2 decades, and I had lately learned, right? So even my PPT purpose was to actually not to talk much about SDG goals. It was all about how partnerships could help me extrapolate myself, right? Reach more human energies and create the necessary impact. Okay. I hail from a middle-class background in India, and middle-class mindset, right? A limited mindset. And then I was fighting my own battle all the time. And then as a student, as a young adult, as a working professional in global companies, I used to pick my time and I used to do social service here and there. But one instance with which I could create a ripple impact with partnership is what I'm trying to showcase. Okay. I have just released one ad on Facebook in 2015, seeking for volunteers who could come and teach in government schools in India. Okay. 30 people came forward just with a Facebook post. I didn't even spend single penny on that ad. And all were my friends and my network. Now I understood so many people also wanted to serve the community, to serve the society, to serve the needy people. And we all could actually contact 30 schools nearby in India, in Hyderabad. And we all started teaching life skills for those children of sweepers and then maid servants. We all taught for 54 weeks, leaving apart holidays, and we could create the magic of making the government school children speak like international school children. And I had the video. I have videos. I mean, I didn't think I would be able to present today, but I still remember I achieved quite some successes in corporate world, getting, multi-billion-dollar kind of signups for my companies I worked. But the joy of those small young boys and girls, right? The smile, the satisfaction, the pride they were seeking after speaking very well, I should say is one of the most prime moments of my life. Okay. And I'll tell you second example of how partnerships worked for me. Because yes, we may be entrepreneurs, we may be working professionals, right? We may be, right? Some of you may be young people, but it all starts from within, right? Now, there could be an enterprise, there could be a framework, there could be policies, there could be objectives, there could be methods and means and techniques. They won't work unless our mind works, right? It should start from within. Now, that example, which I'm going to cite now, is on an occasion in 2014, I had to travel to Kenya, okay? And then I don't know anybody in Kenya. None in Kenya. What I thought, I mean, I got into social media and I went to groups in Kenya, Facebook groups in Kenya. In couple of groups I posted, I'm so-and-so, I'm available for so-and-so things in Kenya. And I have left. 4 people responded. Then I researched for colleges in Nairobi. And then I have written emails to around 40 colleges. All probably took maybe 1.5 hours to write emails to 40 colleges. Believe me, 12 colleges responded, and I did sessions for more than 3,000 young students in Kenya, Nairobi. I didn't know anybody in Kenya. Right? I was in a hotel. I booked my Uber cab. I went there. I did my session. So that's when I understood how partnerships could, manifest and help us reach more people. Third example is there is one civil servant in Telangana state in India. He was state head of police department of the Telangana state. So he was running a social initiative to empower people in Telangana state. Okay. And then I took opportunity to work with him. Through him, I visited hamlets, small villages, and then mandals, and then towns, and then bigger towns, and then cities through, local NGOs actually. So we took help of more than probably 3,000 NGOs to reach more than 3 lakhs people who have changed mindset, right? And then we could, encourage people with our sessions on what is responsible living. Okay, so these are the 3 examples. I mean, I have few more examples, but the purpose of my brief, chat or conversation with you was about how I could actually initiate partnerships to create impact, right? And then how I could see the benefit, how I could, kind of create some impact, in the region where I work. And then I wanted to share these insights with you. And in the lens of what Mr. Marking and, those 2 people spoke, I would like to end stating the fact that it's not what country gives us. It's not what this universe gives us. It's not what, the city gives us. It's what we could give to, our family. It's what we could give to our neighborhood. It's what we could give to our city. It's what we could give to this manifestation. Should be the kind of, the thought which should prevail in minds. And this could be very well planted in young minds at a very tender age, after 18 and 21, 22s, people develop their own stronger personalities, and then it's difficult for us to actually trigger the thought. So, I understood that all the people here in this call are doing great work. All I pray, God to power you more, right? To do more. And also Mr. Rajarao, who is conducting this session with such good intent. And I am also, I'll be also glad to kind of collaborate on any global initiatives. Right now, I am working on employability mission to power rural youth in developing nations. That's the agenda with which I'm working now. Through Mr. Rajarao, I'll be able to reach out to you people, and then I'll be glad to take your insights and your contributions in the form of energies, in the form of wisdom, and then yes, we'll go ahead doing some great work by creating partnerships and then impacting this beautiful world which God has given. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you, dear sir. Thank you so much. Probably you are from Telangana or from Telugu states, I think,
Yes,
based on your
yes.
name.
Yes.
So we are honored, sir, first of all. Then as an Indian, we feel it's proud of you. And as a global citizen, you are doing a commendable and fantastic job. Really, it's so great to listen to you, sir. We are honored. I request all the guests to please switch on your videos. I think, okay. Patrick, sir, the eminent one from Dr. Patrick, sir, can you please switch on your video? Okay, no problem. So it's the time for, yes, our great sir have joined. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. But without you, we can't imagine this. So, Patrick, sir, will you please? Okay, no problem. Yes, Sergeant. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much, Excellencies. Thank you so much. We are going to give a beautiful conclusion to the 17th day, because this day is very, very special to us. Because technically, actually, it is the concluding day of World Peace Summit. But to share all our happiness, we have valedictory ceremony, 18th day. So let me share my happiness with you by saying thanks to you, because it's a first session will conclude and we'll go to next second session. That takes nearly 45 minutes. So before that, let me say thanks from the chief guest of this program. Of course, all are our chief guests. From first one, Professor Dr. Ankur A. Kulkarni sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Sage University, Indore. As every day happens, whoever starts first depends on him how the program continues. Really, our Ankur sir, Honorable VC sir, has given a fantastic opening today. So he has laid a beautiful foundation on that. We have done a beautiful, inspirational session. Really, everyone is touched with messages. Everyone engrossed with the speeches. That is because of the foundation laid by Honorable VC Ankur Kulkarni sir. Then Donesa Arbas ma'am. Really, you are so amazing, ma'am. Such an engaged. You are doing a commendable and beautiful job. Really, the insight you put forward on Sustainable Goal 17, they are universal, ma'am. Every one can adopt whatever the insights put forward to you. And it's an honor, and we are blessed to have your presence on this special occasion. Thank you, Excellency. Thank you so much. And coming to Dr. Patrick Fernandez, His Excellency is an eminent scientist from Singapore. Whenever we request His Excellency, sir, we have a program, you are requested to join. He says at once, okay. And he will come with a lot of preparation. He gives huge, whatever the audience that are expecting, he gives them 100% the subject that they are expecting. And sometimes, what he usually does with his subject is he exceeds, because we have to think more while he is speaking. Such a way, he takes us with his level of knowledge. Really, having his presence, we are truly blessed, Dr. Patrick Fernandez, sir. Having a scientist like you on this platform, truly a great blessing to us. Then Brigadier Dr. V.D. Abraham, sir, really, you are strength and you are the pillar to this session, sir. Because even yesterday also, the way you have started, and today you stand in the middle, and the way you have balanced is both from beginning to end of the session. It was really amazing, sir. And especially the work that you are doing, really, that is almost similar to what Carolyn ma'am is doing to the urban, slum areas, slum area people on behalf of Life Foundation. Really, we are thrilled to hear about your profile, sir, because we already knew it, but hearing it from you, it's so great, sir. Thank you. Having your presence, it made our day, sir. Thank you so much. Then Dr. Chaitanya Agarwal, sir, I think sir is there so far. Sir, can you please switch off, Agarwal, sir? Can you please switch on, Agarwal, sir? Okay, no problem. But sir is like a music of this day, because when we are watching movie, we need some music, something like that. Because the moment he started his speech, we are all enthralled with his music rhythm, because it doesn't look like a speech. Because he has talking about dharma, he has talking about ancient rituals, he has talking about Indian ideology, but the rhythm that he has taken that's a very prominent. So he has his impact. So really, because at some point, what happens, we get a bit something like this. So let's switch off the video and let's go and do that. So, but he patted each and everyone. Come on, let's do this. So such a way, even though it is night, but he did a great job. And thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your wonderful speech, inspiring speech. Thank you so much, Agarwal, sir. And our people, Wahid Musaji from Africa, really, he is an amazing person. Wahid Musaji is doing commendable work in African countries. He's a role model there, and he's the man of action, not man of words. We have to truly appreciate that person. So having his brother in our platform really so great. Thank you, dear brother Wahid Musaji. And Dr. Vishwanath Kokonda, brother, really the way you have explained the things, really, it doesn't look like a speech. Because whatever you have shared, it's all your experiences. Really, that's so great, sir. Because, of course, speeches are given always because we have been listening to. But when our speech meets with our personal experiences, really, that's a different level. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for sharing. Because SDG 17 from real life experiences. Because you made partnerships and you are doing a wonderful job. That too for government school children. Really, it's a great things that we are supposed to do it. So much, sir. We are very happy, sir. We are very happy for your wonderful work. And as you said, let's partner together and we do wonderful work, sir. Because actually the motto, because we nearly interact, you believe it or not, in last 6 months, we interacted with 1,000 international organizations, nearly 150 governments, nearly 100 intergovernmental organizations, nearly 250 international universities. Of course, we have received 100 endorsements or about 100 endorsements. That's a different, because everyone doesn't come with us, doesn't join us at once we invite. But it takes time. But anyway, it's been happening, because within the short span of time, we are thinking that and people are expecting us that you are doing a great job with this success. But we know inside, still we have to achieve a lot. Of course, through partnership, we can achieve. Vishwanath sir, you set us an example, and we'll do that and we can achieve that, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Last but not the least, the beautiful people, Dr. Melody Gracia from USA and Mark Anthony King from USA. Actually, I can't say words about these two people because they already made their mark in their earlier session. Because everyone felt wonder, who are these people? Actually, our Abraham sir, when he messaged that, comparing with that mark, really, that's so great. because Martin Luther King, you know, Martin Luther King is the one who was great in USA in those days. Even today we consider him as a great leader. So the moment I read that message from, because V.D. Abraham sir, if compliment comes from Abraham sir, Brigadier Abraham sir, that's really, he feels that comes. So it has from art, sir. It has from art, because such a great person giving a compliment, comparing with that legend, really so great. But we felt internally that, but we are not in a position to do that. But sir is capable of doing that. But we can say that be enthralled in peace, sir. Because whenever you come, you will take us into Himalayas. So we feel we never ever see the Himalayas, only in movies or videos. But you will travel in Himalayas at peace, prosperity, happiness, harmony. That these are the feelings that we get while you are speaking, sir. Really, the globe needs your power, your caliber, your gift. You are not only you, we are all here. The speakers who were attended today, all are blessed with greater gifts given by God. That's not, sir said, we are all limited, or we are limiting ourselves. But of course, we are doing a great service already, but still there is a lot to explore. So there is a lot to do. Together we can do more things in future. Yes, already we are seeing the excellencies messages for partnerships. We'll do that because we are planning in coming days for partnership sessions. We do that, sir. We all together make a wonderful platform, and we do bigger things in coming days. Thank you, excellencies. Thank you so much. Carry, ma'am.
Dr. Rajarao, you have mentioned only up to Himalayas. I was in Antarctica for 16 months. I look forward to take you to Antarctica for 16th month, where I got a gallantry award of saving a team from the Antarctic Ocean. And the President of India has given me a gallantry award, for which I was not talking, because you have mentioned the Himalayas. That's why I responded. That's a great occasion. By virtue of each, I wanted 1 point more. Ma'am, Dr. Kalani.
So with this, we are concluding the first session of 17th day, and we'll start the second session. Thank you, Rachna Chakravarti, ma'am. You have done a wonderful job. As we promised, we didn't disturb you. Only at the end, we disturbed you. And Professor Dr. Vijay Kal, ma'am, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your wonderful support. We made a beautiful day on 17th day with first session, and let's go to second session. So I request excellencies of second session, please be ready.
Yeah.
We are inviting you one by one.
And just a little request to all the speakers of the second session, make it short and precise, because we want to listen to everyone of you speaking on the 17th goal. So we want to move with our first speaker for the second session, Dr. Malia M. Arknes from Philippines. So ma'am, we were eager to listen to you. Over to you, ma'am.
Yes, what to you?
Dr. Malia.
Is there?
Yeah, yes. Sorry, ma'am, for the pronunciation. So over to you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so to begin with, I would like to thank the organizers, the Biswa Humanity United International Royal Council, headed by Dr. Raja, for inviting me, okay, to be one of the presenters for this year 2023 World Summit. So I am Dr. Myla Arsinas. I'm from the Philippines, and I am thankful, okay, to be with you, all professors, doctors, and dignitaries, okay, to support the importance, the value of SDG 17, focusing on partnerships, okay, for the goals to achieve the SDG targets, okay, by 2030. So SDG 17 with 9 targets is so crucial, okay, as it is the anchor, okay, the cornerstone, to ensure that we would be able to achieve more SDG targets in 2030. While it may be very challenging, it may be very difficult to achieve, through partnerships, through collaboration, we assume, okay, that we would be able to achieve more. So the SDGs are ambitious, okay, and difficult to achieve, yes, okay, but if we are to work together, ideally, okay, with the help of everyone, we would be able to achieve more to address more global issues such as poverty, inequality, climate change, equal access to education, quality health, and others. So although progress have been made since the adoption, there is still a great deal of work to be done. And to attain the goals in its entirety may not be easy. So given this, can we really achieve the targets of the 17 SDGs in 2030? A difficult question to answer. So a while ago, Dr. Raja mentioned the famous words of Helen Keller. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. So this quote emphasizes the power of collaboration and the need to work together to address complex global challenges to achieve significant impact of the SDGs in 2030. In the same line, I would like to share the words of Henry Ford. Coming together is a beginning. Staying together is progress. And working together is a success, just like what we're doing here. It may not be easy to pull together people from different societies, different cultures, different backgrounds, but Dr. Raja made it with the idea of partnerships, collaboration, so that we would be able to help achieve the targets of SDG in different ways. We are from different fields, different backgrounds, different networks, and with our own little ways, through partnerships, through collaboration, we would be able to help cooperate and achieve significant achievements. Maybe little, if you are to look at the global perspective, but very important so that we would be able to achieve more targets of SDGs in 2030. Various factors could actually influence the feasibility of achieving the SDGs targets by 2030. Crucial, first, the commitment and action of many stakeholders. It requires strong commitment. It requires strong action from various governments, international organizations, civil society, private sectors, and the individuals worldwide to make it work. So governments must prioritize the implementation of SDGs, allocate resources, and develop policies and strategies that align with the goals. Active engagement and participation from all stakeholders are crucial for success. So again, partnerships and collaborations as cornerstones of the SDGs. Second, may be difficult to do, resource mobilization. I know we have limitation in terms of resources, to achieve all of the targets, but through the help of everyone, we would be able to help achieve adequate financial resources needed to mobilize and support the implementation of SDGs. These include domestic resource mobilization, international aid, private sector investments, and innovative financing mechanisms. So ensuring that funding is directed towards the SDG projects and initiatives would be very vital for more targets to be achieved by 2030. Third, policy coherence is very important. We need to have strong structural support, effective coordination and coherence across different sectors and policy areas are necessary. So government plans and align policies across various sectors such as health, education, environment, and economic development would be imperative. So policy coherence promotes synergies and of course prevents trades-off between different goals. Another point, it's very important that we have a clear mechanism to gather data for monitoring. So 2030 is the time to assess. 2030 is the time to evaluate. Were we able to, can we achieve the goals by then? So a strong database would be needed. So regular monitoring, evaluation, and reporting on progress are crucial for tracking the implementation of SDGs. reliable data is very important. So we need to measure progress, identify gaps, and from this make informed choices. So strengthening statistical databases, capacities of each country would be very good. And of course, data collection system is essential in the process. And of course, the global participation, partnership, okay, of everyone. So SDG 17 specifically highlights the importance of global partnerships. Okay, people of different cultures, different origins would not stop, okay, to help, okay, participate to achieve sustainable development. So collaboration among countries, international organizations, civil society, and the private sector to share the knowledge and resources, okay, and best practices would be very important. So building strong partnership can enhance capacity building efforts and accelerate progress towards the goal. So very important is for us to be able to share successes, okay, no matter how small they may be, because they could be very good anchors, okay, for us to be able to duplicate, replicate, and help achieve more SDG targets. So while achieving the SDGs by 2030, as I've mentioned, is a big challenge, progress, okay, can be done if we would be able to promote more partnerships, collaborative work, okay, with everyone. We are engaged, okay, into many efforts, okay. I myself are engaged into different women projects, okay, as well as educational initiatives, okay, to help promote SDG. One of my specialization in the area of my doctorate is actually in health. So I've been into a lot of consultancy work, okay, helping promote the health of the children and women in society. Of course, again, okay, little efforts, little contributions, but in this way, we could help promote more partnership, more collaborative work, okay, for more targets, okay, to be achieved. So again, thank you very much, Dr. Myla Arcinas from the Philippines. And again, thank you very much, okay, Dr. Raja. Thank you very much, okay, for everyone.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you so much. I think it's a midnight there in Philippines, but Your Excellency stayed up to this time. Thank you so much, because many are messaging me that saying that the time constraints, but we said sorry to them because it's unavoidable, because it's the last day. Actually, we usually have 1.5 hour session for main guests, but this day, as it is the last day, we have kept it for 2.5 hours. So that's the problem. But anyway, I invite Dr. Chaco Jose G, principal. Over to you, Excellency, sir.
Thank you. Distinguished panelists, fellow presenters, I'm Dr. Chaco Jose. I'm speaking from this tiny South Indian state of Kerala. Since the time is limited, I'll stick on to the speech that I have prepared. Today, I want to talk about the importance of partnerships in achieving sustainable development goals. Whether it's in business, politics, or personal life, partnerships are crucial for success. First, let's define what is a partnership. A partnership, as you know, is an agreement between two or more individuals or organizations to work together towards a common goal. Partnerships can take many forms, from a formal agreement between two groups or friends for a common goal. Partnerships offer several benefits that can help us achieve our goals. Firstly, partnerships allow us to pool resources, including time, money, and expertise. That's what we are exactly doing in this series of webinars. This means that we can achieve more together than we could ever do alone, which was made very clear in the sessions we had in the last 1 week. By combining resources, we can accomplish more faster and more efficiently. Secondly, partnerships allow us to leverage each other's strengths. Each partner brings something unique to the table, where it's a specific, whether it's a specific skill or a network of contacts or experiences in a particular field. By working together, we can capitalize on these strengths and compensate for our weaknesses. Thirdly, partnerships provide a support system. Working towards a goal can challenge, and sometimes we need encouragement and motivation. What is lacking in today's corporate world. When we have partners, we can rely on each other for support, guidance, and motivation. We can also celebrate our successes together, which makes the journey towards our goals more rewarding. Now let's talk about how partnerships can be applied in different areas of our lives. For example, in business, partnerships can be used to develop new products or services. In politics, partnerships are essential for achieving policy goals. Politicians often form alliances to gain support for their initiatives and achieve their objectives. And in personal life, partnership can be used to achieve personal goals, such as, for example, getting fit or learning a new skill or saving for a major purchase. In conclusion, partnership between governments, businesses, civil society organizations, and individuals were essential to achieving the SDGs. Governments provide the political will and the financial resources needed to make progress. Businesses provide goods and services and help to create jobs. Civil society organizations work to raise awareness of the general public and bring in support for implementation of various policies. Thus, we can see that a partnership between various stakeholders can certainly move towards achieving the goal of SDGs. As a result of these partnerships, significant progress was made in achieving the SDGs. For example, between 1990 and 2018, the number of people living in extreme poverty was reduced by half. The number of children dying before the age of 5 was also reduced by half. And of course, the number of people living with HIV/AIDS was reduced by 1/3. The SDGs were a major achievement for international community. They showed that when governments, businesses, civil society organizations, and individuals work together, we can make a real difference in the lives of people around the world. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I think it's a beautiful ending to this program because one more speaker is there, Senorita, but she couldn't switch on her video. Senorita ma'am, are you there? Senorita ma'am? Okay. I request Professor Dr. B.J. Carolyn ma'am for concluding remarks so that we'll say vote of thanks at the end in the program will be. Carolyn ma'am? Okay. So, hope it's time for the finishing of this program. It's because it's the 17th day. Of course, tomorrow is some formal, some semi-formal, because we have some eminent guests. Honorable Vice Chancellors are joining tomorrow. And second session will be an interactive session, semi-informal, because we talk, we chat, we discuss. So all things will be there in the second half. So to welcome that the session, I invite Professor Dr. B.J. Carolyn conclude for concluding remarks and end this program. Over to you, ma'am.
It's a great day today. A power-packed session. The eminent speakers, right from chief guest of honor, keynote speakers, honorable speakers, all are with great energy. That energy I have imbibed. I have taken into my body and it is inspired me. Really, the words spoken by every speaker touched my heart, that I felt I should do a great service to the society more and more. Especially, I felt by the words of the Dr. Mark that God has certain purpose. He's created us. So it touched my heart to the scripture of the Bible, 91, as God spoke to me many times that I have to do a great social service. So though I'm working in an engineering college as a professor, I felt that I have to do service. Then I have adopted slums and doing great service to the vulnerable. And Dr. Raja Rao has also the great call similarly. And we work together in an engineering college as a faculty. And we both have the same energy, same wavelengths of serving the society. That helped us to start Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council. And we are working for the welfare of the society to make the society more better, and especially the underprivileged community to have a peaceful life. And we are working for that. And we invited all the eminent speakers globally, and everyone have given certain takeaways, and we have accepted the takeaways, and we are going to implement for the betterment of the society at our level. I appreciate every global speaker for inspiring us, making us more powerful, and dedicating ourselves for the betterment of the society. And we are looking ahead for the international organizations to collaborate with us, because individually we cannot do anything. We can do, of course, but to a minimum level. That is that I have adopted 55 acres of slum. Sir has doing a great service for the vulnerable, farmers, migrant workers, and also cultural exchange. So that it is limiting, but globally we want to expand, and we want to work for different nations, and we want to empower our nation, our state, with the collaboration of the international organizations. So I'm sure, I'm confident, God has certain purpose that we all connected together on this Mother Earth for the betterment of the society. So we will be united as one family and working for the Sustainable Development Goals 1 to 17, supporting every individual underprivileged community to have a great peace and prosperous life. So I'm sure we're going to have very good collaborations with international organizations as well as national organizations. Thank you very much for being with us, making us more happy and peaceful for the working together for the betterment of the nation and globe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. God has listened to your words, and he will say, Amen, and everything will set right, fall in place. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Because when we have, Abdul Kalam said, dream big, things will happen. Really, it happens. We'll hope so. Because every day we are getting better. Every day we are getting better. So it means we are reaching what we are intending our mind. So we do certainly good things to the society, our community, our nation. Even as a global citizen, we contribute to the planet. So that the day will come. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. First of all, it's a time for a vote of thanks to conclude this program. Professor Rachna Chakravarti, ma'am, I requested you to stay here because we wanted to give you a Man of the Series award. In the 17 days of the summit journey, if anyone who credits with Man of the Series, not Man of the Match, Man of the Series award, that is certainly you, ma'am. Certainly we honor you, we remember your services, because today actually there are two chairpersons for this program. One chairperson is facing a problem with her mother because she has admitted in hospital, and one has some internet problem. So they abruptly, of course, they didn't know that thing, but they informed me the problem. So I'm thinking, what should I do? Because in few minutes I have to release that today's schedule. Just I received the message from WhatsApp. Then I felt so relaxed
Yes, yes.
because
I'm always there. I'm always there.
thank
sir.
you. That's what you say. But
World
today,
peace.
what we are thinking is we should not misuse whatever you are doing. So that's what we are thinking. Let's balance the things. That's what we are. But you said you step forward, and even though it is 2.5 hours, now it's 3 hours. Spending this much time in this summer, in spite of all the technical hurdles, that's so great, ma'am. But we remember you that. You remember that because not today. Even when the day comes, even that day also we say the same because we abide by that word. Because Deepa Chaudhary, who supported us in the earlier days of our journey, Madhavi Bose, who has advanced it, and now you have showed us that responsibility and supported this World Peace Summit 2023 because it is the last day in Sustainable Development Goals. That's why I'm saying thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Please extend your support in such a way. We do great things, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's always with
then-
global peace.
Thank you, ma'am. Archana Priyadarshini, ma'am. Of course, it's a midnight, 11 o'clock, but I have to say it's the 17th day. 17th day. Good evening, ma'am.
Fabulous journey, really.
Thank you, Panagar. Thank you,
Enjoyed
sir.
a lot.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Chako Jose, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for joining. Not only today, we have been seeing your presence almost all these days. Thank you so much for supporting. And today your speech is wonderful, sir. We are honored and we are blessed. You have given a beautiful conclusion to this part, sir. Because from beginning onwards, we are counting. And today is the closing program in Sustainable Development Goals. You have given a fabulous concluding part with your amazing speech, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Donesa, ma'am. Donesa Arbas, ma'am. Today you are the empress. You are the queen of this program. It may be because of your appearance, or it may be because of your loyalty, or it may be because of the loyalty in your presentation. In every aspect, you have dominated the screen, ma'am. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Oh, ma'am is there. Ma'am, say hi to all because it's a good night here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Just now we can see you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. You are the queen and empress of the day. You made our day with your presence, with your speech, and the way you have injected the energy into the screen. That's so amazing, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much. What we have expected from you, you went beyond our imagination. We are honored, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much. Then Mark, King, and Melody, we need not say words about you because you above all, because the comparison by Brigadier General V.D. Abraham sir said, so I don't want to compare, but you have done a fantastic job because it's like a river, it's like a Himalayas, or as we are seeing global peace on this program, that's such a beautiful way you have worked, my dear Dr. Mark King and Dr. Melody Gracia. That names, you are justifying your names. That's what you are doing. God bless you. And you do for the welfare of nations. There is a long way to go. Thank you. Thank you, Excellencies, for joining and blessing this event. Geeta Suryavamshi, ma'am, a bit weak, but still we can say 17th good evening. Are you there, Geeta, ma'am?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, yeah, how to say? Yes, Mark, ma'am, and King Mark and Melody Gracia, ma'am, also appeared on the screen. 1 second. No. Okay, 1 second. Yes, now we can see them. Thank you. Thank you so much. You are blessed by God and you have been spreading those blessings to us with your presence and with your speech. Keep up that good work. And God has given you a great gift to help the nations. And you do it that job wonderful way. And we surely collaborate because soon we'll have a meeting together.
Yes.
And we do together some wonderful works for the welfare of humanity.
We are waiting to collaborate with anybody who wants to collaborate with us to impact nations, and we are ready and willing to travel. So you let us know when and where.
Sure, Excellency, sure. That's why I'm telling you, it's not nation, it's a nations. That's why, because if you are with us, then certainly we do that. Thank you so much, Excellency.
Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you so much. So Myla M. Arsinas ma'am from Philippines, thank you so much for staying till this time, because many have messaged me, because still we have 4 speakers left in the second session, but I do not want to disturb them because it's a midnight for them. So I said them, okay, no problem, we'll join later. So they went, but you stayed, and thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, because it's a midnight in Philippines. But Myla ma'am, thank you so much. Then Poonam Goti ma'am, 17th, good evening. Poonam Goti ma'am.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Senorita ma'am, you have joined first, but somehow you got went somewhere, I think. But anyway, Senorita ma'am, thank you so much staying till. Sir, Srikant Kalurkar sir, you are the last one, but not the least one. You are the best one. Please appear on the screen, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
He is not normal person. Now he is aligned with some European people, and he is doing a commendable job in research work. And he is also making us partners into that. So wish you all the best for your new responsibility, sir. And thanking also for us.
Yeah.
And thank you for the support that you have extended all these 17 years. Sorry, all these 17 days, 17 sustainable development goals. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Last but not the least, we have one more. She's like an angel. Her Excellency, Professor Dr. Vijay Carolyn, ma'am. Of course, I compare her with humanity, because I like the term the Life Foundation very much. As the chairman of the Life Foundation, she has been doing a wonderful job for the slum people. So I appreciate her all, because if we ask someone for money, that is only for those some people. Because recently she shared her experience of facing the problem, and she borrowed some money from a friend. I never ever heard from her that, but first time in her, first time I happened to hear that. And that too for slum people, I felt really touched with her words. So such a way she has been thinking about the poor people and her concern, and in leading this program especially, because actually Royal Council as a single individual, I can't do anything, but as we together, because sometimes ma'am says that, sir, you are doing everything what I'm doing, sir. But I tell ma'am each and every time, you are there, so Royal Council is there. Because of your presence, I feel stronger, because 2 minds are always better. So after this program, we'll speak for 10 minutes. Then the 10 minutes of our discussion gives 24 hours energy. So you are giving that much needed energy, ma'am, to continue all these works. And sooner we are having eminent wonderful collaborations to expand the Royal Council work. So such a way we are moving. That is all happening because of Professor Dr. Vijay Carey, ma'am, because she is doing many jobs, as a professor, as a counseling psychologist, as a Life Foundation chairman and managing director of Royal Council, C8TV director. So many different dimensions, but one objective, to help the community, to help the humanity. So with it compassion, with her kindness, with her humanitarian services are going forward. So we all together should support her Life Foundation. And as a Royal Council, we all together work together, and we bring many eminent organizations who can work on these sustainable. Because if you are working on sustainable development goals, which means we are working for the future generations. Apart from working for us, we are working for the welfare of future generations. So with this note, we do many wonderful things in coming days. We have a hope, because it is given by God. Let's spread the message of peace. With this note, I conclude 17th day of World Peace Summit, and I let us all together invite the 18th day, beautiful day, valedictory ceremony tomorrow, 18th day of World Peace Summit. That will be the concluding.